Hello all, welcome back to our channel Lingua and Literature. Today's topic is Plato and his theory of forms. Plato, the great disciple of Socrates, was the first critic who examined poetry as a part of his moral philosophy. Plato was basically a moral philosopher and not a literary critic. Plato's critical observations on poetry lie scattered in the Ion, the Symposium, the Republic, and the Laws. In his work, The Ion, he advocated poetry as a genuine piece of imaginative literature. But in his another work, The Republic, which is a treatise on his concepts of ideal state, he rejected poetry on moral and philosophical grounds. As a great moral philosopher, his primary concentration was to induce moral values in the society and to seek the ultimate truth. So, when he examines poetry, his tool is rather moral and not aesthetic. He confused aesthetics with morality and ultimately concluded poetry as immoral and imitative in nature. Most of Plato's philosophy is expounded in dialogue form using a dialectic method of pursuing truth by systematic questioning of received ideas and opinions. The early dialogues are devoted, 35 and 13 letters, to exploring and defining concepts such as virtue, temperance, courage, piety, and justice. The major dialogues of Plato's middle period are Gorgias, Apology, Phaedo, Symposium, Republic, move into the realms of epistemology, that is, theory of knowledge, metaphysics, political theory, and art. These concerns are unified by Plato's renowned theory of forms. The theory sees the familiar world of objects which surrounds us and which we perceive through our senses as not independent or real, but as dependent upon another world, the realm of pure forms or ideas, which can be known only by reason and not by our bodily sense perceptions. Plato says that the qualities of any object in the physical world are derived from the ideal forms. For example, an object in the physical world is beautiful because it partakes of the ideal form of beauty which exists in the higher realm, and so with tallness, equality, or goodness, which Plato sees as the highest of the forms. The connection between the two realms can be best illustrated using examples from geometry. Any triangle or square that we construct using physical instruments is bound to be imperfect. At most, it can merely approximate the ideal triangle, which is perfect and which is perceived not by the senses but by reason. That is, the ideal triangle is not a physical object but a concept, an idea, or a form. According to Plato, the world of forms is changeless and eternal. It constitutes reality. It is the world of essences, unity, and universality. On the contrary, the physical world is characterized by perpetual change and decay, mere existence as opposed to essence, multiplicity, and particularity. A central function of the theory of forms is that it unifies groups of objects or concepts in the world by treating them as belonging to a class, by referring them back to a common essence, and thereby making sense of our innumerably diverse experiences. The great philosophers of the period discussed a great variety of matters, including the value of literature of society and its nature and functions. The 4th century BC was an age of critical inquiry and analysis. Plato was not a professed critic of literature, and there is no single work that contains his critical observations. His ideas are expressed in several books, chief among them being the Dialogues and the Republic. In these books, Plato gave initial formulation to the most fundamental questions. They are: how can we define goodness and virtue? How do we arrive at truth and knowledge? What is the connection between soul and body? What is the ideal political state? Of what use are literature and the arts? What is the nature of language? And Plato's answers to these questions are still disputed, yet the questions themselves have endured. That's all about today's topic. To get updates, please subscribe to our channel Lingo and Literature. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.